The thoughts are all positive. It's been a long day, a long morning. Wonderful worship service, very impressive with the participation and the diversity of participation. And this part of the swearing in has just been outstanding. Outstanding performance, outstanding speakers, and just the enthusiasm of the crowd or the audience has been very, very positive for me. So it's been very uplifting for me. We'll have to find out those all small things because I have people to interview, people who would like to have a little bit more information about the possibilities of being employed with us. And at the same time, there are people that are still here that's participating in the transition that are seasoned, tenured employees that's got really good information that's needed so that we can make the right decision in the middle of this budgeting season. It's going to be to know the employees a lot better and hear from the transition team that we're going to put together and hear what those reports and results are going to be. Then tie it all together and come up with something holistic.
The presentation of the colors, Sergeant Sammy Dozard, American flag. At this time, I would like to welcome to the City of Alexandria inaugural ceremony and the official swearing in of our mayor and city council of our great city, working together, reaching the theme our new mayor has selected, Together Alexandria, as we unite for a better community for us all. I would like to share a few words with you this morning. Mr. Hall, Jeffrey Hall and I met back in 1957 on the playground of A. Weathermark High School in Boyce, Louisiana. I don't know if he was actually sick, but his mother taught elementary school at A. Weathermark in Boyce. And on the days that he was ill, his mother would bring him to work with her. And we met and became good friends on the playground. And we would sit out, and they had a large pecan tree out on the yard. And we would sit out under the pecan tree and we would talk. And we would talk about the future. And we would say to one another, you know, one day we're going to make history. I say, Jeff, are you sure? He said, yes, I think one day we will make history. I say, do you know when? He said, yes, in 2018.
Jeff Hall is my friend, and he has been for a number of years. In an hour or so, he'll be inaugurated as my mayor and yours. More than that, Jeff Hall will be the mayor for all of the citizens of Alexandria.
This is the inauguration of Alexandria's 24th mayor and the first African American to be elected to hold the mayor's office in our history. We have come far, but we have a long way to go. The future we envision and desire is not beyond our reach, but we must work together to see it become a reality. The future we envision for Alexandria cannot be shaped by our mayor and his office and our city council. The future we envision demands that citizens support, encourage, trust, and empower our officials as we all work together. We must press forward. We must press forward knowing that there is more that unites us than divides us. The future we envision for our city requires residents from every sector working together. We must join together in vision, heart, and hands. We must work together from Karst Park to Charles Park, the Garden District to Acadian Village, Sonia Quarters to West Point, Landmark to Samtown, Martin Park to Hunters Grove, Homewood to the Lakes District. We must work together, Alexandria, with openness and honesty, with trust and respect for one another.
You know, this is a day that we all need to just look around and reflect upon what we are witnessing here today. And standing there and listening at the musical selections and the words of wisdom that we have been imparted to us today, peace, harmony, and love. Now is the time we've all been waiting for. At this time, I will introduce to you Judge George McTwire, 9th Judicial Court, District F in Alexandria, and I would please ask him to come to the podium.
It's an honor and a pleasure to introduce to you a man who had a vision. Today, this vision becomes a reality. I present to you my husband, our mayor of the city of Alexandria, Jeffrey W. Hall.
I, Jeffrey W. Hall,
I, Jeffrey W. Hall,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
I will support the Constitution
and the laws of the United States
and the laws of the United States
and the Constitution and laws of this state,
and the Constitution and laws of this state,
that I will faithfully
that I will faithfully
and impartially
and impartially
discharge and perform
discharge and perform
all the duties incumbent on me
all the duties incumbent upon me
as the mayor of the city of Alexandria,
as the mayor of the city of Alexandria,
according to the best of my ability
according to the best of my ability
and understanding.
and understanding.
So help me God.
So help me God. I want to thank everybody. And I want you to know, when I look out and I see all the people here, I do not take it lightly. I really am overwhelmed with excitement that you would take the time to come spend a minute with a country boy like me. I have to get myself together. And all the wonderful things that were said, and those that wanted to be here but probably couldn't be here, and I'm just so grateful. I can't help but think back to the journey, and I won't talk about all those things. In the corporate, my first job out of Grambling State University that actually deducted taxes from my check was at the City Hall here. Mike covered that. And I had several other opportunities to work in legal services for a year there as Director of Administrative Services, as well as the police jury for about 6 months, and then went to CLECO. My travel with CLECO was everywhere but outside the state for a while. I went to Mansfield and Shreveport, Louisiana for a number of years, Opelousas, Lafayette area for a number of years, and then back to Alexandria. But in that journey, I made some wonderful friends. And I learned a lot. And my wife, bless her heart, she just packed up with me every time we had to move and go with me. And for some reason, she followed me, and we were successful. God took care of us. And I won't forget the first time that I ran in 2014. We were not successful. But you know, after that election, I was not sad because the people that worked so hard, we just didn't win because it was not God's will. But things changed. And the Lord changed some things. What he changed was he put me in the presence of some people for 4 years that I never would have had the opportunity. State legislators sitting over there, many of them. I won't try to call their names out. Even Mayor BROOME, who was a senator at the time, she's over there. The mayor of Baton Rouge came down to share with us. I wanted to just let you know that it's so much that I would have missed out had I not lost that election. So it's obvious to me that it was something to be gained. And I won't talk about all those things other than the fact that you learn a lot about compromise. Right, Lance? A lot about compromise in Baton Rouge. A lot about things that I never would have had the closeness of being first vice president of Louisiana Legislative Black Caucus, chairman of the Louisiana Legislative Black Caucus Economic Development Committee, vice chair of the State of Louisiana House of Representatives Education Committee. Never would have had those opportunities to serve on the Agriculture Committee, Department of Transportation Committee. That completely opened my eyes to a lot of things that I believe that I bring to the table. And it encouraged me to realize what some of the writers, some of the speakers have said before about divisiveness. We can't We can't survive with it. And I want to share with you a few things as I did some studying. On March 4th, 1865, about a month before the Civil War ended, Abraham Lincoln was given his second inaugural address. Lincoln appealed to, I quote, malice toward none and charity for all, unquote. Animated by what one writer calls an awe-inspiring sense of love for all who bore the brunt of the battle. In his appeal to a deeply divided America, Lincoln points to essential facts of our life together. If we are to survive and thrive, we must hold its divisions and contradictions with compassion, lest we lose our democracy. Lincoln has much to teach us about embracing political tension in a way that opens our hearts to each other. No matter how deep our differences are, that way begins here in the heart, as we work on reconciling whatever divides us from ourselves. The more you know about another person's story, the less possible it is to see that person as your enemy. Heart comes from the Latin cor, C-O-R, and points not merely to our emotions, but to the core, C-O-R-E, of the self. That center place where all of our ways of knowing converge: intellectual, emotional, sensory, intuitive, imaginative, among many, many others. The heart is where we integrate what we know in our minds with what we know in our bones, the place where our knowledge can become more fully human. Core, the C-O-R, is also the Latin root word for which we get the word courage. You heard some dialogue about that earlier. When all that we understand of self and world come together in the center place called the heart, we are more likely to find the courage to act humanely on what we know. Looking at politics through the eye of the heart can liberate us from seeing it as a chess game of moves and counter moves, or a shell game of seizing power, or a blame game. Rightly understood, politics is no game. It is an ancient and honorable human endeavor of creating a community in which the weak as well as the strong can flourish. Love and power can collaborate, and justice and mercy can have their day. We, the people, must build a political life rooted in the commonwealth of compassion and creativity, still found among us, becoming a civic community sufficiently united to know our own will and hold those who govern accountable to it. Democracy is always at risk. Government, that is of the people, by the people, and for the people, is a non-stop experiment in the strength and weaknesses of our political institutions, our local communities and associations, and the human heart. For those of us who want to see democracy survive and thrive, the heart is where everything begins. That grounded place in each of us where we can overcome fear, rediscover that we are members of one another, and embrace the conflicts that threaten democracy as opening to a new life for us and for our community. But our democratic institutions are not automated. They must be inhabited by citizens and citizen leadership who know how to hold conflict inwardly in a manner that converts it into creativity, allowing it to pull them open to new ideas, new courses of action, and each other. That kind of tension holding is the work of the well-tempered heart. If democracy is to thrive, our hearts and our institution must work in concert. I shared that with you because that's the feeling that I have. That's the calling that I feel that I have, to work creatively with everybody to get things done. I want to thank Mayor Roy and his administration, those who have done the work. It's not easy, but they've done some work. We're going to continue to do the work. We're going to continue to do all those things that we said we would do during the campaign. And more than anything else, we're going to continue to work toward the very end as we share in that motto, together, Alexandria. Let's put people first. Thank you.
At the end of the day, he remembered what his father told him, to be strong, be a king. But at the end of the day, he also remembered that he was a protector. So you might say that the citizens of Alexandria, they're your Wakanda, and you are elected to be the protector of Alexandria. And I know you will do a good job as a leader, as a guide, and as a covering for this city. I look forward to hearing great things, and congratulations.